Hi, my name is Andrew Meinzer of Meinzer Law Firm. This is the second and final video in a series of 2 videos generally about transferring the assets of someone after death. In this video, I'm going to talk with you briefly about the different ways that the assets of a decedent can transfer. As we discussed in that last video, generally there are 4 different ways that can happen. 1, properly set up trust. 2, assets that are set up to transfer automatically. 3, having assets that are low enough in value to be considered a small estate, or 4, a probate decedent's estate court proceeding. So let's take a look at these 4 different possibilities. Again, if the person who died had a properly set up trust, then the process should be relatively smooth and quick. There's relatively a small amount of work that needs to be done. This legal work is required by law and or protect all people involved. There shouldn't really be any single time-consuming or expensive task. Rather, normally it's simply a matter of providing certain notices, filing certain forms and documents with various government agencies, and communicating with everyone involved. And it's a good idea to have an experienced attorney do these things to make sure they're done correctly. If someone has died and they do not have a properly set up trust, but the assets are set up to transfer automatically, then again, the process likely is going to be relatively smooth and quick. Specifically, if he owned any financial assets such as bank accounts jointly with someone else, then the funds in those financial accounts automatically became the funds of the other co-owner. And this form of co-ownership is called joint tenancy. Similarly, if he died owning financial accounts that included a designation of who would receive the funds at death, that designated person would receive the funds automatically, and we call that designation a pay-on-death beneficiary designation. In both of these cases, collecting the funds normally is a simple process. The joint owner or the pay-on-death beneficiary simply needs to contact the financial institution and provide a certified copy of the certificate of death of the person who died. The financial institution likely will provide some paperwork also that needs to be completed. Be careful though, because the financial institution most likely will freeze that financial account as soon as you inform it about the death. That can be a problem if the person who died had arranged for certain bills to be paid automatically from those financial accounts. You still need to notify the financial institution. You just need to have a plan for making sure any necessary bills continue to get paid. Now, cars and real estate also can transfer to a joint co-owner. The process for cars is not very difficult, and the DMV or AAA Automobile Club can help with the process. When it comes to real estate or real property, it's best to have an experienced attorney help you just to make sure there aren't any mistakes. Now, I don't recommend planning ahead to transfer your assets automatically through joint tenancy or pay-on-death beneficiary designations, because there are significant risks and limitations to doing that. That's a question or an issue for planning. And here we're not talking about planning. We're talking about carrying out the situation of somebody who's died. And when somebody's passed away already, it's too late for them to do any planning like having a trust or anything like that. At that point, we're playing the cards that were dealt. Now, the third way of transferring assets at death, again, can be relatively smooth and quick. If all the assets of somebody who died or all the remaining assets after the transfers by trust and automatic transfers that I just talked about total less than a specific amount. This kind of transfer is called having a small estate and transferring through a small estate procedure. And the way that happens normally is that the people who are supposed to receive the assets simply complete an affidavit. But the affidavit has to have very specific language, so it's important that it's done correctly. And the specific amount of assets that are considered to be a small estate changes occasionally, so be aware of that. In all other situations, most likely the fourth option is what's going to be at play, and that is a probate decedent's estate court proceeding to transfer the assets of a decedent. It's the default process in cases when the assets are more than what is a small estate after any transfers that are already made by trust and after any automatic transfers that we already talked about. So there's a bit to talk about regarding probate decedent's estate court proceedings, and that will be the subject of the next series of videos that will come out soon. So again, my name is Andrew Meinzer of Meinzer Law Firm. If you know that you need our help with transferring the assets of somebody who's died, or if you just have a question, please call us and let us take care of you.